Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the sprint car capital of the world. That is Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa. We are going to be bringing you along for a full night of action against the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. We're expecting over 6410 sprint cars and what is looking like the toughest night of our 2025 season so far. Well, things are just about ready to go for the 2025 Knoxville season opener with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series. Just walking up and looking at the racetrack right now. Yesterday, we tried racing and Mother Nature had other plans. So we're giving it a go today. Overall, looks better. I think we'll have more fans in the stands, and we're looking at, I believe, close to 70 410 sprint cars in the pit area. So without a doubt, aside from the Nationals, the Kings Royal, other Crown Jewel events, this will be one of our toughest nights of the entire season. But that's a good thing. Competition is great. That's a challenge. That allows us to, kind of see where we stack up. We don't run a lot of half miles as our team's from California, and I run out there a good portion of the year. So good for us to kind of work on that package for later in the year when the Nationals does roll around in some of the bigger, paying events. But we're getting super close to the action. So here in just a few short minutes, I'm going to be getting all suited up. Then we'll be getting in the race cars. We'll be getting them fired up for some engine heat and then roll directly into hot laps and qualifying. Down there, and I didn't get to the bottom. I don't know if I just cut the grease. Was it better? Probably was. It feels like maybe I just needed to be more buried in it, but actually when I was off of it, I feel like I'm just kind of too left, and then I just start to scoot around. Well, qualifying is complete here for Flight A. We went out early. Now they're sending all the Flight B cars. Totaled out to 65 410s in the pit area. What's crucial about this format, there's so many cars, it's not even completely standard outlaw show. Like, they have non-qualifiers, so I think you have to qualify in the top 20 just to make it into a heat race without having to kind of race your way into a heat. So we ended up 18th quick. We made a heat race. Of course, we wish we were, a little better and farther up, closer to quick time. Knoxville, racetrack's fast, and everybody is separated by this much. Like 1/10 would have probably put us like 12th, 10th, and 2/10 would have almost put us in the top 5. We kind of went out right in the middle of all of our cars. So guys were kind of running the top in front of me, and then it started a transition where guys were able to also make the bottom work once kind of some of the grease burned in. I ran the top the first lap, and then I tried to run the bottom in 3 and 4. That's kind of a common line. You just build momentum in the final corner, you try to run low, and I just wasn't able to really stick the bottom like I would have liked. So felt like both of our laps were just okay, and that's kind of why we ended up 18th quick. So we'll keep working on it. We're gonna have a tough heat race here coming up. Hopefully though, the track kind of starts to widen out. We'll have some more opportunity to pass. Like I kind of spoke on in the beginning of the video, we knew this was gonna be a challenging night. Everyone is so close, everyone's so fast. Everyone's using the tricks they have up their sleeve, and as a driver, you're just trying to hold the wheel straight, carry momentum, put yourself in the right spot on the track, and then pray you rip off a good lap. Now, before we get any farther into our day at Knoxville, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's show, Dirt Draft. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Dirt Draft is actually the first grassroots racing fantasy sports app and website. So each race day, and I'm talking like all the divisions and series, we have the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, we have High Limit, we have USAC, we have Lucas Oil Late Models, we have Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series, also Flow Racing Night in America, Short Track Super Series, the list goes on. If there's an event in dirt racing, you can play on the Dirt Draft app. And with each race, you get to pick 5 drivers within your $100,000 salary cap. So they give you $100,000 and you get to draft
draft each driver. Now each driver already has a predetermined number value, so the more a driver's worth, the more likely they're going to run up front. And this is just a great way as a fan to compete against your friends and get one step closer to the action and follow the races in live time. And probably the best part is you can turn your playing into prizes. So as you play, you can actually enter into the over 500 contests that Dirt Draft holds each year, which can then win you event tickets, subscriptions, merchandise, and more. And they're a great company to support because they're putting a lot of money into dirt racing. Now on top of that, all new subscribers receive a free Dirt Draft shirt of their choice, so that's another deal that they run when you sign up on the app or website. If you'd like to check them out, I put the link at the top of the description. Thank you so much, Dirt Draft. We're now going to roll through the rest of our night at the sprint car capital of the world. Well, I ended up finishing 9th there in that heat race, started 10th, and gained a few spots actually right off the start. Being on the outside and being in row 5, like guys kind of move, like on the start, guys kind of fan out low and high. And that gave me a chance to actually get a few positions. You know, a lot of guys on the inside here, you don't have as much wing speed and you don't have as good of an angle into one, so they all have to woe up, and if they miss the bottom, they're in no man's land, they're in the middle. So I just carried really good speed, and I got a few cars on the outside. I think that also probably gave me some false hope that the top was good. Like I made it stick, so I kind of stuck to it. And I stuck to it too long because that then allowed a couple of the cars that I passed to get back by. Definitely take some of the blame there in that heat race, you know, that I didn't finish as good as I could have. You know, it wasn't like we were going to go 10-1, but I think I could have, you know, maybe ran up 7th is where I think I was kind of at. Maybe could have been into 6th. I think I should have just got those positions and then tucked to the bottom. A lot of my thinking was, well, if there's a car, you know, if you're close to a car in front of you and they go to the bottom, you're kind of trying to take the clean lane. So if they go low, you're kind of going middle or high, and that just didn't end up working out for me. Like the track's still too fast that you're better off almost to maybe follow a car, even if you got to woe up. Anything you got to do to hit the bottom and kind of get in lane, because there's still just so much speed. And I don't think our car is perfect. We've been working on it. I think that when we run the top, we're very cushion dependent, but then when we're dependent on it, we're almost tight in it, but we're not where we need to be when we're off of it. The few times I ran the bottom, which wasn't a lot, I was good down there. Like I said, though, it is just stupid wet, though. It's almost greasy. So like you're pretty stuck as long as you can get to it and stay in it. So we're going to be probably in, what, a C main event. So, you know, obviously wish our night would be going better. We're gonna keep working on it though. We're getting some valuable laps at Knoxville. It's just, it's tough. So I gotta work on being a little better behind the wheel, clean some stuff up, slow my arms down a little bit, and just, you know, racing well around cars, which on these half miles in a place like this is one of the hardest things to do in sprint car racing. Well, they're doing the dash draw right now. C main's up next. I actually thought we were gonna be on the front row of the C or be in the first 4 starting positions, but we're actually gonna be in the B, which, you know, people will be like, wow, you're starting better. That's good, right? Because you're in the next main. For us, I actually would have really liked the track time. I think it would have been valuable, and to be up front in clean air to have a chance to not have as many cars around us. If you get a little closer, you can kind of see the surface. Quite a bit of grip on the bottom, and actually quite a bit of grip, you know, through the surfaces. It's so wet down here, it's throwing material up. So this C will hopefully kind of clean it back off a little bit, burn it in more, and then for the B main event, it's still gonna be pretty fast, I think, and we're gonna be starting deep. So I got plenty of tear-offs on. We're getting ready to go right now, so we're gonna walk back. But yeah, we got some work to do here for this B main. Well, that's our night here at Knoxville. I don't know where we finished in the B. We made some progress early. That was good, and then driver kind of made some mistakes. You know, just trying to move back to the bottom and just misjudged some of my moves. Like I said, got rolling good again, similar to the heat race. Man, ran a really good first lap. Ripped around quite a few cars. Guys get trapped in the middle, stuck on the bottom. I just kind of found a clean lane. Sometimes when you start as far back as I do, everyone goes low because they're worried about, you know, get into the curb wrong. And if you can sail it, you can make some ground. Yeah, from there though, I just wanted to try to move around and see if I can make some better laps. And I think the easiest way to put it, you know, I feel rusty, you know, first night on a place like this for the season, you know, along with our practice night, but tonight was just actually a racetrack. Practice night was way faster. And I got a lot of little things that I could definitely clean up and just run in here a little more consistently. Like if we got even one more night under our belt, I feel like it'd be a completely different. On top of that though, I think we have work we're doing with our race car. Like we're not stoked about our balance. We know it could be better. It seems like, you know, off the top of 2, like I make okay speed getting in the corner, and we made it better all night, but still like not getting off the corner like I would like. And I think when you're just, anytime you're fighting your car a little bit as a driver, you end up not in the right spot on the racetrack. You're not on the throttle at the right times. Your foot combination with the brakes, you know, not on point. Like it's a domino effect at a place like this with so much wing speed. And then, you know, once you kind of get out of your rhythm, guys go by or you lose ground on the cars in front of you. So overall, chalk it up, cars in one piece. You know, would have liked a much better night, of course, but I just think this shows that we just have work to do with our half-mile stuff. And for me, like I just need a couple more little nights and get back to where I've been, where once we get rolling through the season, man, we get a rhythm and we can, you know, run these places just like what we have at home consistently. So proud of these guys. Just one of those tough nights on the road, and we'll chalk it up and move on to the next. Well, our first night of 2025 at the sprint car capital of the world is complete. Really happy that we got a night in. Today for us in Tarleton Motorsports, racing here with 65 410 sprint cars. Of course, not the outcome that we were wanting. You know, we're not like pumped or anything about our results, but tonight's gonna be big. You know, our first chance to get on, you know, a half mile like they have here in Knoxville. This place is just unlike any other racetrack, so you have to come here to get better here. And for us, it kind of just ended up being a throwaway night as a team. The best way I can put it, we just have some work to do with our package. And I think as we get our package closer, I'm obviously gonna get better behind the wheel. Aside from that, I did make some mistakes tonight, just little things like getting back in the groove of racing on a half mile and, you know, what to do at the right time. So along with that too, there was some positives. I had some good starts, was aggressive, you know, passed some cars, but just need to work on my race mode a little bit. And as we get our car closer, it's easier for a driver to be in race mode and be in the right rhythm, because you're not fighting the car as much and trying to make it do things or get it in the right spot on the racetrack. You can kind of almost just guide it to where you need. They already started working the racetrack, but for the first night of the year, the racing surface was actually in tip-top shape. It got pretty wide up to the top. You can't really tell, but the bottom also got narrow, and there was guys with their left front on the berm. Overall, it just felt good to be back here at Knoxville in the sprint car capital of the world. And I think a tough night like this, kind of just got to pull a tear off, shut the back door, you know, really learn from it, look at our notes. I'm gonna study a bunch of film, just kind of getting back in the swing of things. A tough night like this though, as a team, is actually gonna propel us, because sometimes you just gotta go through some of that, gotta be strong through it, and then, you know, keep rolling with the rest of our season, because we had a great start to the year. We're just literally racing with the best drivers in the world, and we're putting ourselves in, you know, positions that are tough to be successful in, and you gotta power through and keep getting better. So anyway, super proud of Drew, Nate, Carly. Can't thank the Tarleton family enough and all of our partners for the opportunity to be driving the 21. Really been having some of the most fun I've had in my entire racing career, and just what an opportunity to be here in Knoxville, and not even in the 18T, in a different race car, and you know, with some of the best fans in all of motorsports. So thanks for watching. Thank you guys for riding along with me for the journey, and we're gonna keep cruising. Now we're out here in the Midwest for a couple weeks, and we're bringing you guys a bunch of awesome content. Deuces.